He's come from. Are you going to tell him where you come from, or shall I tell him?
No, I'll tell him.
You're going to tell him?
Yeah.
Well, he's come from somewhere. He's come up here. Ladies and gentlemen, give him the best of order.
We'll see.
You probably have to tell him when to laugh. Put your hands together. Let's welcome on stage the fabulous Mr. Nik Hill.
That's lovely. Just keep fucking clapping. Am I the only one? I mean, that's lovely. They've gone to the effort of that picture. But am I the only one thinking Karen Bailey's looking up thinking, I wonder if Nipper and Nik Hill are married? Does anyone else think we look a little bit gay on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. It's the only time Nipper's actually going to be taller than me. I can assure you of that. Listen, thanks for that lovely introduction, Nipper, because last night I was in Swansea, and I think the MC had been watching too much of Live at the Apollo. Because I was waiting to go on, it was like, ladies and gentlemen, he said, come wild, come mad, clap your hands, stamp your feet, give it up, cheer all up for the fantastic, wonderful, brilliantly talented Nik Hill! And I came on and said, mate, have you not noticed? There's only 4 fucking people in here. So this is nice playing to a proper crowd. It's great. And as Nipper said, I've travelled up from Gloucester, more of that in a minute. But yeah, thanks for the Fred West reference. That's always a good start to a gig, isn't it? The most notorious serial killer in the world. And it was alright travelling up here. It was alright. M5. And then I got off at Junction 3. How you fucking people live with it? Is it the A4132 that just comes all the way along? My poor sat-nav woman, she's lost her voice, advising me of all the red light cameras along the route. And I've come through all these iconic black country places. Can't actually remember any, but Halesowen, Dudley, Wolverhampton, and then I arrive in Willenhall. Yeah, it's alright though, isn't it? It's alright here, because I didn't know much about Willenhall, so I had a quick look on Wikipedia this afternoon. I didn't realise this was home to the lock and key industry. You might not know this, but in the sort of early 1800s, mid 1800s, when there was thousands of locksmiths working from home, and they'd be hunched over their machines for 18, 20 hours a day, so much so that they developed humps on their backs, right? And some of the pubs in Willenhall, back in the day, to accommodate this, used to carve out holes in the walls, so when these workers would come in for a pint, they could sit up and they could rest their humps in the holes in the walls. And I thought, that's lovely. And that was the original name where the Hole in the Wall gang came from. And if you believe that, that's just a load of bollocks. But I thought, what a nice gesture that was from an 1800s pub to do that. And I thought, you wouldn't get that today. You wouldn't get that in an establishment looking after the disabled. But I'll say this for Shepwells, right? They knew me and Nipper were coming here tonight, and they have provided us with booster seats for our chairs, so we can look the other act straight in the eye, so that's really good. A lot of acts start their set with, it's nice to be hearing wherever. I've got to be honest, I've stopped doing that. Not because it isn't nice to be here. It's what it was. I did a gig in a little Cotswold village near Cirencester last year, place called Ashton Keynes, and I just went on, said, good evening, my name's Nik Hill, I'm from Gloucester, lovely to be here in Ashton Keynes. And 2 things happened. First of all, people, they heard I was from Gloucester, they started texting their babysitters to advising them to lock the doors. I thought, that's a bit fucking hard. And then this woman stood up, she said, excuse me, young man, I know it's spelled Keynes, K-E-Y-N-E-S. But here in the village, we prefer to pronounce it Haynes. I hope you don't mind. So no, that's absolutely fine. I've got to be honest, it does make you sound like a bit of a pretentious cant. That's spelled C-A-N-T, but in my village, and I've not been asked back, which is a bit of a shame. So I've mentioned off in Gloucester, I don't know if has anybody been to Gloucester? You have? Oh, what, and survived? It's shit, isn't it? We haven't got a lot going for us, I've got to be honest. I mean, we've got a cathedral, we've got a Premiership rugby team. And the other thing we have got is an annual event, and I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called the Cheese Roll. Are you aware of it? For those of you that aren't aware, basically, once a year, a load of poor people gather at the top of a really steep hill, the cheese is rolled down, they chase the cheese, and whoever gets to the bottom first keeps the cheese, right? I've lived in Gloucester all my life. I'm in my 67th year this year. I've never done the cheese roll. But this year, I've decided I'm going to do it. Right? It's on my bucket list. I've been training hard for it. I've been rolling a Bailey belt down my drive. That's going well. And the cheese roll was banned and for health and safety reasons. And when it was reintroduced, BBC Southwest came to film it. And one of the winners of one of the races was a 15-year-old girl called Kylie from quite a rough part of Gloucester. And they interviewed her and they said, Kylie, you've entered the race and you've won. What would you like to say? And she said, well, yeah, I did enter the race and I did win. And I've got to be honest, I'm very surprised. And they said, why are you surprised, Kylie? And I thought, oh, Kylie, just say something really profound, something that's going to put you on the map, put Gloucester on the map. And what I was hoping Kylie was going to say was something like, well, look at me, I'm 15, I left school at 13, no qualifications, my teacher, my friends, my family, they all wrote me off. I've already got 6 kids by 10 different dads, and no one's given me a chance. And I thought, you know what, Kylie, this is your chance to shine. And I trained really hard for this event. I was out in the wind, the rain, the sun, anything, didn't matter. And I got to the top of that hill and I looked down and I could see my friends and my family, my teachers all down there laughing. And I thought, you won't be laughing in a minute. And when that cheese went, all I could focus on was getting to the bottom, and I threw myself down. I could have broken my neck, my arms, my legs, I didn't care. I just wanted to prove something. And when I got to the bottom and I won, I thought, yes! You've arrived, Kylie. You are worth something. That's what I wanted her to say. What came out of Kylie's mouth to the question, why were you surprised, was simply this. I don't even like cheese. So I've been doing comedy, God, 20 odd years, and I don't know if you know this about Nipper, but Nipper won the Silver Stand-Up, and that's the comedy festival, and I went in 2023, and I won it, I think it was the year after it. And basically it's a competition aimed at the over 55s, and did a heat, got through the heat, got through to the final. There was no upper age limit, so I've got to be honest, backstage it was like God's waiting room for comedians. One act, they called his name out, we looked across, he was just slumped in a chair with his eyes closed. We didn't know whether he was asleep or dead. Somebody said, do you think we should wake him? And I was like, no, don't wake him. Because if he misses his chance, it's going to increase ours. And I got through to the final, I did the 5 minutes and I won. And I phoned my wife straight away. I said, you'll never guess, after 4 years of trying, I've only gone and won. And she's like, oh, that's fantastic. What have you won? Because obviously she is from Mumbai. And I said, I've won a trophy. She's right. Anything else? I said, no, just this trophy. Oh, okay. So I'm back home, showing her the trophy a couple of hours later. She said, well, that's lovely, but I'll ask you again, have you won anything else? I said, no, honestly. Right. They've been on their website. Shit, have you? What about the £500 cash prize for the winner? They're advertising. I was gutted, right, because I had that lined up for something special. And she was like, what have they told you all through our marriage? I don't know, there's been so many things it's hard to remember, to be honest. She said, never lie. And she's right, you shouldn't lie in a marriage, right? But she went away on a cruise the previous April, And she phoned me up on the Wednesday. You alright? I said, yeah, I'm fine. Are you missing me? I remember what she said, so I just said, no, absolutely not. She started clutching at straws. Well, I bet the dog's missing me. He fucking wasn't. He was loving life. He was sleeping on my bed, I was feeding from the table, we were down the pub every night, we went and got tattoos, well I did, and I've got to be honest, it was the best week of our lives. It was just absolutely brilliant. But we have been married. We've been married 25 years this year. So yeah, that's hard work. That is hard work. And we were just chatting the other day, and she said, I feel the romance has gone out of our relationship. I said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, maybe on those rare occasions when we're being intimate, it'd be nice to have some music playing in the background, just to break the silence. I thought, she's got a fair point. So I recorded a couple of songs, we were getting down to it, put the first track on, Angels by Robbie Williams. I thought that'll do. Nothing wrong with that. I've got to be honest, I think my choice of song number 2 probably killed the mood, the thing from Match of the Day. But she also moaned, she said, there's no surprises in our relationship anymore. So again, I took that on board. The other night, she was in the bathroom getting ready. I went into the bedroom, turned the lights off, lit a candle, hid under the bed, and when she came in, I just grabbed her ankles, and apparently that wasn't the surprise she had in mind. But she did surprise me just before Christmas, because she said, you have remembered you're picking me up from my work school tomorrow. Well, that came as a total surprise, because she works from home and she's self-employed. I said, no, that's fine, I'll pick you up. So I got to the right place at the right time. She gets in the car. All I said was, have you had a nice time? And then I got, are you saying I'm drunk? Oh, don't fucking start. Don't start. No, I'm not saying you're drunk, but clearly you've had a beer or two. The thing is, I don't think you love me. In fact, I don't think you've ever loved me. I said, right, I do, I have. There's obviously no guarantees going forward. She's like, well, if you love me, you can prove it right now. How am I going to do that? I said, you can get on top of me in this car and make love to me. It's not going to happen. She said, give me one good reason. I said, I'll give you 3. She said, go on then. I said, right, well, number 1, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Number 2, we're still outside Wetherspoons in the middle of Gloucester. And number 3, we've got your girlfriend Chris in the back of the car because we're giving her a lift down. And that's the thing. She's got a girlfriend, right? She went away on that cruise with her for a week. I didn't bat an eyelid. I didn't mind, didn't play up anything. I wanted one night away with my girlfriend to spend that £500 worth. The shit I got from that. But she's not a happy woman generally. Like it was her birthday. Oh, today. And got her a spa date, that was wrong. Apparently she hates grocery shopping. We did dry January this year, we still drank, just absolutely no sex. But we did, we celebrated Valentine's Day, and I did a romantic thing. I phoned the florist, so I'd like to order some flowers for my wife. She said, do you want a card? I said, yes please. She said, what do you want on the card? I said, I'll just put to Lynn, all my love, Nick. And then she said, would you like a kiss on the bottom? I went, brilliant. I could be there in 20 minutes. And she went, no, I meant on the bottom of the card. I said, yeah, I know. I'm a comedian, I was just making a joke. And quick as a flash, she said, I bet you don't get many gigs, which I thought was a little bit harsh. But we did celebrate Valentine's Day at home. And we just sat there and she said, can you remember how we met? I said, yeah, vaguely. She said, well, you had an advert in the Lonely Hearts column. Actually, you had 2. Did I? She said, yeah, but I only replied to 1. I didn't know that. Why was that? She went, in the second one, you put your height, right? I didn't know she had a problem with my height. I should have realised, because about a week after we got together, I said to her, do you fancy going to Alton Towers for the day? And she just looked at me, she said, really? £40 for you to go on 2 rides? I don't think so. And she, about a year afterwards, I come home and she was working in the school at the time, and we were sat down having dinner. She said, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah, what is it? She said, how tall are you again? I said, I'm 5'2". Yeah, what's that in inches? I said, 62 inches, where's this going? Oh, it's nothing. Oh, come on, where's it going? It's just something we were doing at school today. I said, what? What were you doing at school? I said, well, that's 62 inches. Do you realise you're only 8 inches taller than the largest emperor penguin ever recorded? I've got to be honest, that joke normally goes down far better. And I'm guessing in Willenhall we don't know what an emperor penguin is. Is that what's happened? You've got Dudley Zoo up the way. Just go and have a fucking look at the weekend. But I retired in 2023. So I've just spent, it's just coming up to, it'll be March, just coming up to 2 years. 2 years, literally 24/7 with her. And that's been hard. We got any other retired people in the room? Are they retired? Just yourself? Is this your, do you spend a lot of time with him? It was alright when we were working, because we didn't spend that much time together, but 24/7 for 2 years. We've just got to a stage, like an irritating stage, I call it. And to be fair, it's nothing major. Breathing. And if we're out in the car, we're going to come up to a T-junction, and if I want to turn right, I'll say to her, is it alright to go? And she'll go, yeah. And as I'm pulling out, as long as you're quick, I thought, you don't want to hear that shit, do you? And I've realised she's missed a vocation. She has definitely missed a vocation, because I think she could have had a glittering career in musical theatre. Because I've discovered over the past 2 years, she can make a song and dance about absolutely fucking anything. The other thing I've discovered about retirement, and I don't know, you might know this, is, and I didn't know this before I retired, but apparently it's obligatory that you spend 4 out of your 7 days at a fucking garden centre. Which I never realised Gloucestershire had so many garden centres. We go to one in particular, I've got a loyalty card. And we went there last August, and I gave her a little card over with a little stamps, and she went, oh, congratulations. I said, what do you mean? She went, it's your birthday, isn't it? I went, yeah. She said, that's good news, isn't it? I said, is it? She said, yeah. I said, right, it's not. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm 66 today. The average life expectancy for a male in the UK is 81. So at best I've got fucking 15 years left. So no, I don't think it's good news. So if you think it is, please tell me why. And she said, well now, you qualify for one of our senior citizens discount cards. And I'm thinking, just fucking shoot me now. To be fair, I took the card, and I said, and what benefit is this to me? She said, well, you get 40% off a roast lunch. Oh, okay. And I'm walking back looking at this card, and I'm looking at the small print on the back, and she was right, you do get 40% off a roast lunch. Served every Monday between the hours of 9:15 and 11:20. And I thought, who the fuck eats a roast lunch on a Monday between the hours of 9:15 and 11:20? Well, since last August. I'm not keen on this getting older business, I've got to be honest. And I know she worries about me, and she's worried about my health, because I have put on a little bit of weight since I retired. And I know she sort of thinks about it, because it was something I overheard her say. She had the girls round for book club. It's a very loose description. They're not girls, they're fucking menopausal bitches, basically. And it's not a book club, it's just an excuse to drink my best red wine. But it was just something I overheard her say to one of her friends. And what she said was, oh, my Nick, I've got to be honest, he's put on some weight, he's like an egg on legs, his body disgusts me. And I thought, at least have the decency to let me fucking leave the room before you tell her. But what I've done is I joined the local Slimming World group, and I don't know if anybody's ever been to Slimming World, but I mean, I love doing stand-up, but going to Slimming World is one of the most intimidating things I've ever done. And it was only a couple of minutes away at our local primary school, and I went in, and there was another lady there, And she looked at me, she said, are you new as well? I went, yeah. And I said, is your name Nick? I said, yeah, why? And then she said those 6 words that no bloke ever wants to hear. You don't remember me, do you? And I'm looking at her thinking, oh fucking hell, no I haven't, have I? I know I was desperate in the 80s, but surely I didn't stoop that low. And then she rescued me, she said, you used to work in recruitment and I used to be one of your temps. You haven't changed, right? Back in the 80s, I was 8 stone 6. I am now carrying the equivalent of 32 bags of sugar. And I'm looking at her thinking, not only do you need to be here at Slimming World, but straight after this, I'm going to book you a fucking appointment at Specsavers. Anyway, this woman come over, she said, hi, I'm Chris, I'm your counsellor. I thought, I don't need counselling, I just need to learn how to stop eating. So what we're going to do is, first thing, you're going to be weighed. And I thought they'd take you behind a screen, somewhere private to be weighed. No. You have to join this line of people. And there's some weighing scales at the end, and they're manned by these 2 smug, stick-looking insects with badges like Super Slimmer, Slimmer of the Month, I've lost a pound. And I got in the queue, and this woman in front of me, her shoulders were going up and down. I could hear she was sobbing. I said, are you all right? She said, not really. I've tried really hard this week. And I'm looking at her thinking, you fucking haven't. And I said, what have you done? She said, I've climbed right to the top of Robinswood Hill, which is a local beauty spot. I said, well, that's really good. I said, well, come all the way back down. I said, well, that's good as well. But at the bottom there's a chip shop. I thought, just let yourself go. We went that way, went back to Chris. She said, right, take a seat, I'm going to ask you a question. Now, for those of you that have been listening, you'll have remembered this was a primary school. I looked down, there was these little plastic chairs. I thought, this isn't going to end well. It didn't, I fucking got stuck in my chair. Anyway, we sat there and Chris said, right, I'm going to ask you a question, and it doesn't matter what the answer is, just say the first thing that comes into your head. Out of anybody in the world, whose body do you most admire? And I don't know where it came from. I just blurted out Tom Daly, and I've not been back. Again, that joke normally goes down far better, so you're going to have to work a lot harder than that. I'll just leave you with this one thing. Getting older, it does make you realise you're not immortal. Right? I was alright, I got to 50. 50 was fine, because what happens at 50, through the post, you get life assurance leaflets, right? That changes. When you get to 60, funeral plans, right? I know a little bit about funeral plans, because my mum died in 2019, and she had a funeral plan with a co-op. And as a last surviving son, I had to go in there and sort it out. And I went in, met the lady, said, I'm Nik Hill, I'm Jean Hill's son, I've come to talk about the funeral. She said, oh, I've seen it. Sat down, said, how old are you? I said, I'm 63, what's that got to do with it? Well, have you got a funeral plan? I went, no. You should, because you could go at any time. I said, oh, cheers. She said, do you know what it entails? I said, well, no, not really. She said, basically, if you pay us £2,000 now, you can plan your whole funeral. You could be buried, you could be cremated, you could put some money over the bar, you could decide what food you want, you could have a band, a disco, you could tell people to come in fancy dress. Whatever you want, you can have. She said, it's your day, you can have anything you want. It's brilliant. We had a conversation for 10 minutes. At the end of it, I was looking forward to my own fucking death. And talking of dying, that's about my time, isn't it, Nipper? Alright, can I tell you one more story? Alright, I'll tell yeah, okay. I've mentioned my mum, and she did die in 2019, and she had dementia. And there might be people in this room that have got people that are suffering with it. And Mum had never seen me do stand-up, and she used to say, after I die, will you talk about me at every gig as a way of keeping my memory alive? And I said, have I got your blessing to take the piss? And she went, yes. I said, and have the audience got your blessing to laugh? She said, yes. So if you don't laugh, you're all fucking going to hell. So dementia sufferers, if you don't know, they've got three traits, right? They're paranoid. Mum thought people were living in her house. There wasn't. They tend to lose things, but they don't lose things because they think that people living in their house are nicking stuff, so they hide them, and then they can't remember where they put it. And they wander, and Mum had all three traits. And she wandered for the last time on the 20th of September 2019. I was out, and I got a phone call from one of her neighbours to say, your mum's gone, I don't know where she's gone. I phoned the police. To be fair to Gloucester Police, they were brilliant. They picked her up literally within 20 minutes, took her to Gloucester Hospital. I got a phone call on the Monday to say, I'm PC Mark Davis, I'm your mum's safeguarding officer. Can you meet me at the hospital? I need to check she's all right. That's fine. I met him on the Tuesday about 6:30. We're walking up to the ward and I said, how long have you been in the police? He said, 20 years. How long have you been doing safeguarding? He said, I've only been doing it about a month. Okay. Word of advice, don't believe a fucking word she says. We get up to the ward and the atmosphere is very quiet and subdued. A bit like this. Mum's in the bed there and there's about 4 other ladies and I go in, alright Mum? Yeah. This is PC Davis. Alright. Have you come to arrest me? And he's like, no, Jean, I've not come to arrest you. Well, have you come to arrest Nicholas? He's like, no, why would I arrest Nicholas? He's only just come out of prison. And he looked at me. I said, I haven't. And then she said, because of course he murdered his own brother. And he looked at me again. Mum, I didn't, did I? Tim died in 2009. He was only 43. He had heart disease. Can you remember that? Well, you would say that, wouldn't you? Yes, because it's fucking true, that's why. And then we had silence for about 2 minutes, and then she came out with, and of course he made me have sex with him before we were married. This woman across the way went, that is disgusting. I'm like, it didn't happen to it. Look at her, she's clearly not well. I grabbed the policeman, I said, look, I can't deal with this anymore, I've got to go. And just as we got to the door, and I don't know to this day whether she knew what she was saying or not, but under her breath, she just went, it's that poor dog I feel sorry for. We got outside into the corridor, and I said to him, I'm really sorry you had to experience that, but you can see she's not right. He went, no, I can see she's pretty disturbed, but I do need to ask you a question. I said, right, well, I haven't been in prison, I didn't murder my brother. He said, no, not that. Have you got a dog? And of course the answer was, well, yeah, we have. And he just looked at me and said, oh, right. So that bit was true. And then she died a week later, so I thought, that's fucking karma. Listen, you've been an absolute challenge. No, you've been lovely. Thank you very much for listening. My name's Nik Hill. Good night.
How about that then? Nik Hill, another short house one. Give a big round of applause, Nik Hill. Fantastic. And that's a true story.